So there is that consuming group. And we have negotiated with our brothers in Africa. Fortunately, they have all agreed. When we got independence, starting with Ghana, 1957, people were intoxicated with power, president, minister, member of parliament. But fortunately, by 1980, they had started seeing that titles don't matter so much. That's when our elders, at that time I was still busy somewhere in the bush, not here, not in air-conditioned rooms, sorting out some issues. But by that time, our elders met in Lagos. That's why they talk of the Lagos Plan of Action, 1980. After almost 30 years of independence, they are started saying that we need to change. They met in Lagos and worked out the strategy of economic integration. So that's how this COMESA, what they call COMESA now, was started. The ECOWAS, West Africa, and so on. So therefore, we, apart from the market of Uganda, we have been working with, and when we came into government, of course, we pushed, and we created the East African community, revived it, it had collapsed. So therefore, when you talk of the market, you have the 43 million people, you have the East African community, 300 million now, you have COMESA, and we have negotiated for the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area, for the whole of Africa. And really, the Africans are waking up. They are seeing that market is very crucial. So we have the consumers here. We need more of the producers of goods and services. But the two, conveying what I've produced to where it will be consumed, that's another infrastructure. The road, the railway, the communication to inform or misinform consumers that have got something wonderful like Asporo, which cures all diseases. We had a medicine called Asporo. It was curing all diseases in the world. So therefore, then you have other support systems and so on. So therefore, we are here to inform the business people that, of course, you need other things. You need security, you need peace, you need regulation, other support things, but the crucial ones are those three. The producer of a good or a service, the consumer, and the linkage between the two and the inputs into the production. So when it comes to what they call energy, for us, we have everything here. Millet, these ladies don't know, I think they have forgotten how to do it. To okwera, when you throw up the millet and then the wind sweeps away the omweziga, we call it omweziga. These were our forms of energy, but Europeans came and said no. They brought this other thing from underground. Banyankore did not like it initially because it was not smelling well, this petrol. My aunt would go to Ntungamo, the trading center, holding her nose that she has smelled petrol. But we found it could be used. But now people have discovered that it causes some problems in the atmosphere. So for us, we are ready for everything. On the issue of the solar, we have been struggling for a long time with partners about the cost. Because I take a deep interest in all these things. At one time, the cost of a unit of solar was 46 American cents. For me, 8 cents or less per unit, per kilowatt hour, was the cutoff. Because the problem we had with Bujagari, there is a dam we built with some people called Bujagari. When they started, they did it without my knowledge. They went behind my back. Because I had negotiated a good deal with the American Energy Service. These were Christians, Christian people whom I had met in our Christian group in the UK, in the USA. And we had agreed at 4.9 cents per unit. Then they were frustrated by your parliament here. They went away. Now this other group came, and when they started producing electricity, the cost was 13 cents. But who will manage that? We had to subsidize now. We spent so much money subsidizing. This one will never happen again. So therefore, the cutoff point for power produced either by the government companies or by private under the PPP arrangement, power purchase, PPPA, power purchase agreement, must be preferably 5 cents, American cents per unit, or not above 8 cents. So now that solar energy is becoming, I've got some groups who have agreed, I will not mention who they are, to produce at 8 cents or less. And I think we are about to conclude. When Ankabero was away, I put Musenero in charge of that group. I don't know how far they have gone, whether they have concluded. I have not followed on the wind. On Bitokati. What is the wind? What is the room about wind? Per unit. We are speaking French. You may not follow what we are saying.
Yes, Your Excellency, there is some work we are doing.
For us, the determinant factor about the energy is the cost per unit. Because remember, electricity is not just for lighting, it is first and foremost for production of goods. And these goods must be competitive in the market. And if the goods are to be competitive in the market, they must be good quality but cheap. So therefore, we cannot undermine ourselves by promoting expensive energy which will undermine our industrialization plan. And that's why, therefore, we shut out of the door anybody who is above 8 cents per unit. 8 cents and less, apoyo bino. You are welcome. Unakaribishwa. And if we use that yardstick, then of course we have the hydro. You see, for instance, our old dams, like the one which was opened by the Mzee who went recently, Her Majesty the Queen, 1954, the one of Naruvale. It is now giving us power at 1.2 cents. The other new one, the one we built ourselves, called H.E YK, east of the Nile, is giving us at 1.2 cents. The ones we are building with our Chinese friends, 4.8, in that range. So those ones are compliant with this strategy of power capable of supporting our industrialization. So therefore you have the hydro, as long as it can meet those. Then you have the solar. Solar is coming down now. You can hear about the gas. It seems the gas is on the borderline. It's coming down. The nuclear, nuclear, ekibaro nikigambaki.
For nuclear, we usually...
Those are our ideas. We made some arrangements with the Russians. Russians are not liked in some places. But for us, we have no problem with those people. We work very well with them. They were here, and we agreed with them. What did we agree, Irene? Don't mind getting up and sitting. It's good for you, for the exercise.
Your Excellency, we have a bilateral memorandum of understanding with the government of the Republic of Russia. And in there, we've agreed to study the suitable technology that...
Chairman, my question was, where are you taking our petrol? Pipeline for what? Here in East Africa, we have got energy needs. why don't you build a refinery? And we supply ourselves. That was my preference. Then they said, no, you know, that to get money quickly, to get back their money quickly, the pipeline was actually their preferred option, pipeline only. I said, no, that will never happen in Uganda when I'm here. We cannot have oil, and you find that we are stuck without petroleum when some Slavic groups start fighting. You can imagine. Some Slavs are fighting, Ukrainians and Russians, here we are suffering. How can that be? And we have our oil, which we have pumped out. Said, no, there must be a refinery. So that's why we settled on the idea of a refinery and a pipeline. It's a compromise on my part. Very, very big one. Because remember, when I pump the oil through the pipeline, I lose money because each barrel pays a fee of 12.7 cents for being pumped through the pipeline. If I had not agreed to that, I would not lose that money. What do you call that money? The 12.7? What fee? Minister, help me. Irene is very tired of standing up and now.
It is the tariff transportation cost.
Transshipment, what? There's
12.7 USD.
There's a way they call it. Transshipment what? Huh? Rubondo, what do they call it?
Pipeline tariff or tariff transportation.
Oh, okay, that one there. $12.7 per barrel, which I would not pay if I had used only the refinery. But I developed interest in it later on. Initially, I said I wanted to move with Total. I said, okay, this is not the end of the world. Let's move. But later on, I developed interest in it for two reasons. First of all, our Tanzanian brothers and sisters will benefit also. And Tanzania is important for Africa because under their leader, Mwalimu Nyerere, they supported the liberation of Southern Africa. When we were fighting the Portuguese and Ian Smith and all those groups, Tanzania was on the front line. So I was very happy to make a small contribution to Tanzanian economy. So I developed my own interest in the project, other than wanting to go along with Total, but I have now got my own interest now. The second reason, apart from brotherhood, is that while we have oil here, we don't have so much gas. We have some associated gas, but it's not as much. Tanzania and Mozambique have got more gas. So we need gas. And the Tanzanian government has agreed that the corridor through which the pipeline will pass can bring a return pipeline to bring gas from either Tanzania or Mozambique for our area here. So therefore, I am now, while originally I was lukewarm, now I am more committed to the pipeline because it may be good for the integration of our energy policy, our energy plans with the coastal countries and we in the hinterland. So therefore, I encourage the oil companies to move on the two, on the refinery and on the pipeline. You know, I spent many years studying English. 12 years. I think one of the words I picked up in those years is insufferable. Some of these people are insufferable. You need to control yourself not to explode. So shallow, so egocentric, so wrong, but they think they know everything, you broadcast their ignorance all over the place. But they should calm down. Because this is a wrong battleground for them. We don't take kindly to arrogance. That's why we spent so many years sorting out issues with arrogant people. So the plan will be implemented according to schedule. And I hope our partners join us firmly and advise those. When you go to this parliament, these are just young girls. Member of parliament. You are lecturing me what to do in Uganda, you young girl. I met them, those young girls, when I went there. I think somebody should cancel those young people. Now the green movement in the world, is good because definitely the carbon dioxide, because in 1961, when I came from the middle school to the senior high school, our first lesson was air. That air was 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, then something small about carbon dioxide. Now, it seems the percentage of carbon dioxide is increasing because of too much emission. So it's good that, and that one is causing a lot of problems, as you can see. In London, on one of those days, the temperatures were 41 something degrees centigrade. You can imagine London. So it's very dangerous. So it's good to think about the environment. But as the minister said, the one who has messed up most yasooka okulongoosa. So surely this is just Christianity. The one who has done most damage, you start. I am also coming, but you start. Because you have done more damage. But, and I don't think our additional damage is so big. Additional contribution to the, I think our people here can give the details. But the question which I asked, I know I've got some of my people here. And Irene Batevi is one of the advisors who are young people. So when we were writing the speech for Edinburgh, my question was, even when we are no longer using petroleum for cars, will petroleum be useless? What was our question, our answer, Irene? Even when we are no longer using petroleum to move cars.
Yes, Your Excellency, of course, petroleum, apart from providing transportation fuels, has other uses, like support for plastics, polyvinyl chloride. The tents we are in right now are a product of petroleum.
So therefore, really, petroleum is here, will be useful for a long time. And remember, the carbon dioxide people are crying about now in the atmosphere. The fact of the matter is that when I was in the secondary school, and here I would have to take advantage of my sister, Professor Murema, Professor Jane Murema. When I was in that secondary school, when we go there, we said for the A level, they would talk of organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. I said, what is this? Now you, my chemistry people, come and tell us what. Ani anatusomesa kwecho. Oyagala kusomesa mwanyinaze. Tusomese. Oba abana bato bamuyambeko. Abana muyambe senga.